So yeah, I wanted to cover a few things because I actually touched on it briefly in a previous TikTok as it pertains to COVID and kind of even pre-COVID, the connection between parasites and anemia. And I realized that most people weren't aware of what parasites were and the impact that it had on our health, kind of overall health. But I did have a conversation with a few friends and colleagues back in like 2016. I had been referring back since then about the connection between our health and any sort of disease that is connected to parasites. Um, I had a conversation with a parent, and this was kind of offline, whose child, 1 year old, had been experiencing some really pretty severe health issues and concerns. The doctors just aren't coming up with a solution as to why this 1 year old is having seizures. And the onset of seizures is pretty extensive, but the issue is it doesn't last. I mean, the seizures don't last long, but the doctors they don't actually know where this started. And of course, how to remedy the issue for the patient. Um, what they have come to a conclusion of is that the child is severely anemic. So I had a conversation with the mom and I said, hey, you know what? You may want to check the child's number one, oral microbiome and gut microbiome, because there might be a parasite that is hosting off of this child and causing nutrient deficiencies. And it's been a long day at work, guys, but nutrient deficiencies as well as anemia. And so things like H. pylori or just other types of gastrointestinal diseases or disorders very well are due to parasites. And most people aren't aware of kind of the impact, again, that they cause on our health. My grandmother, who was Cherokee and, what people consider African American, but she's Cherokee, God bless her soul. She would always, every time I would come to her house, she would always do this cleanse, on me where, she put turpentine around my navel and, she expelled the parasites that, of course, innately she knew that I had as a child, which caused me, to have just different ways that she knew just from looking at me and seeing kind of like how I was acting or reacting to certain situations, climate, or whatever have you. My grandmother was really able to pinpoint whether or not that was due to parasites, and she was able to quickly alleviate it. So I think a lot of times we really underestimate the power of the body and the ability to heal itself, but also our keen insight and instinct on what could be causing a lot of our dis-ease and ailments. As you already know, the Bible says that, the enemy is going to slither on his belly. What do you think that enemy is? It's a parasite. So at the end of the day, we have to remember that, our bodies can expel these parasites, which cause not only, blood disorders, organ diseases, because this thing attacks each and every organ that it truly comes in contact with. The goal of the parasite is to host, it's to create and to come in contact with either the vascular system or the musculoskeletal system and just wreak havoc, and even the bones. So there are different types of parasites, and in dentistry, you will find that your hygienist will clean your teeth, and they'll also perform like a test on the type of parasitic strand you might have, whether it's strep or any other type of bacterial strand that could be in the mouth, whether it's gingivitis, periodontal disease, Whatever that strand of bacteria or parasite is wreaking havoc on the oral microbiome is also going to make its way into the bloodstream, because once it bypasses certain areas in the gums, of course, it causes inflammation. That inflammation leads to heart disease, endocarditis, of course, as you know, which is inflammation of the heart. And it just kind of flows throughout, the bloodstream. It could travel to the sinus area and cause sinus infections, which then at some point untreated could become encephalopathy or any other sort of inflammation of the brain. So as we start to delve deeper into kind of the root causes of a lot of disease, at the end of the day, most Native Americans knew that the basis of it was parasites. Dr. Sebi can say that it's mucus. I call it parasites, because really the sputum of a parasite is mucus. So I'm kind of the new Sebi that is telling you that the real basis of disease are parasites. I've been saying this for over 15 years plus, but been doing this for 27 years. And for the longest, I've realized that most disease, now that I'm in dentistry as opposed to just functional medicine, I'm realizing that it all starts with what we eat, what we intake, food, water, even our, we talk about my skincare line, but the most important factor of, health is creating like a boundary against these toxins that we constantly encounter on a daily basis. With the mother whose child's brain truly is overheating because of inflammation, which the disease or the disorder or the reaction to the heavy metals is causing the child's brain to overheat. And the child is now throwing seizures. Really, truly, a lot of this is heavy metal poisoning. And so when you think about, the metals and the heavy metals that we come in contact with, the toxins that we come in contact with daily, such as in the food, the water, the air quality from chemtrails and whatever have you that they're dumping into the lakes and the oceans. We forget about Fukushima and what that did to the fish. We forget about, how really the Bible, as it says, plays it out. Our lakes, oceans, bodies of water are completely red with blood because there is no life in those systems, that ecosystem. I hate to say it, if you're a pescatarian, you better really check the quality of your fish. Because since Fukushima and the Gulf Coast oil spill, what have we been eating? What have we been consuming? Okay, the quality of food depends on the ecosystem. So you can be a vegetarian, but if the quality of the meat is in poor condition, really the quality of the soil is in poor condition. So, we really have to check kind of the foundation of really our bodies and the health of our bodies, and then the way that it plays out with the ecosystem, our connection to Mother Earth. God gave us this knowledge and this discernment, and we need to start using it. So, please inbox me, text me, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm here to help.